All right. Good morning. How's everyone's weekend? Thumbs up. Good. Sideways. Meh. Not so good. Thumbs down. Not so good. Okay. Hopefully the week gets a little bit better as you go along. Um, is anybody still having issues logging into Revel? There's a handful of people that I notice haven't done any readings yet. So um, be expecting an email from me if you are on that list. Okay. So please make sure you do those readings before we come to class so we can have more of a conversation as we go through. Okay, so what's chapter 2 all about? Tourism. Okay, cool. What about tourism? Was there any questions, any things about that you thought, I never thought about that as being part of tourism? Okay, okay, yeah, awesome. Anybody else? Go ahead, Christian.
And then the increased fees of places like Nepal and Tibet are like something like $500 per day.
Yeah, yeah. So oftentimes that like the impact that tourism might have on a place, definitely we have to outweigh the financial benefit of tourism compared to the impact that it has on the region. Absolutely. When I was in my master's program, I did a systematic review of 5,000 TripAdvisor reviews of the San Antonio Riverwalk. And I put them all into different categories to figure out where people thought areas of the Riverwalk that could be improved, things that were going well. Um, but yeah, so that's the impact that tourism has is really, really important to consider. Anything else? Yep, go ahead, Brianna. Yeah, the different reasons why people travel. What was one that was surprising for you? Okay. So like the age of people that are traveling. Okay, good. What are some other categories of types of travelers? Actually, hold on, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Hold on. Let's go to the next slide and let's build this together. All right. So when we talk about tourism, we talk about that multiplier effect where the more money tourism spends, people spend in tourism, then that money goes back into the community. Okay. What major event did we have last or earlier this year in March? Well, we have Fiesta every year. Yep. But what happened in 2025 that doesn't happen every year? You go ahead. Haley, yes, Haley, right? Okay, yes. The men's Final Four happened. The NCAA, yeah, NCAA. They don't like NCAA. NCAA. I learned that this year as a volunteer. They prefer NCAA. The men's Final Four and women's Final Four is coming to San Antonio in 2027, I believe, 26 or 27. So women are coming back. Any idea how much money was generated in that weekend, those 4 days, that 4 day weekend? You want to take a guess? A lot, yes, a lot. Anybody want to take a guess? Sebastian, 30 million? Nope. Higher, higher, lower. So we got 100 million and 6 billion, more than 1.5, double $360 million in 4 days. was the economic impact of that tournament. Okay. You know what's unfortunate is that this is probably the last men's Final Four we'll have because our Alamo Dome isn't big enough. Our Alamo Dome is not on the same standard as the other cities that host. They have newer stadiums, they have bigger concourses. When they have the men's Final Four in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome, they add additional seating. They have like a bleacher system that adds 16,000 seats. Basically, the capacity of the AT&T Center, the Frost Bank Center, they build that in the Alamo Dome as a temporary seating. They raise the court 3 feet off the ground, and they add additional tens of thousands of seats in the middle, just so they can accommodate the 70,000 people it takes to watch a game. Okay, so that's why when you hear these stories, maybe in the news about the Alamo Dome needing an upgrade, we have that upgrade is needed so that we can host the men's Final Four, right? And it's not just about the people who are here for the weekend watching the football or the basketball game. Okay, locals, they had the tailgate, Titans a tailgate. No, that's a different event. What do they call the tailgate party? There's a tailgate party that's kind of in over on the corner of Alamo and Market Street. So they had a tailgate party where if you couldn't go to the game, they had big screen TVs and you could watch the games. What else happened? 3 nights. March Madness Music Festival. Anybody name one of the artists that was here? I think Doja Cat was here one day. She opened for T-Pain. And then who's the other one that was here? I can't think of it right now. It was the biggest one of the 3 nights. It was the biggest one. Jelly Roll wasn't that big of a draw. And then the last one was country. I can't remember who the country one was. Chris Stapleton, maybe? Free concerts. You just show up. Yeah. Pitbull, that's who it was. Pitbull was the headliner. Yeah. Free concert. The locals just show up. You can go. So that kind of thing happens when we have those large major events, right? Christian, what? They're a pain in the butt.
If you live downtown,
Yeah.
you can't
Parking. Yep. Traffic, all of that stuff. All the construction. Yeah. So again, where's that trade-off? The economic impact of $360 million, economic impact for 4 days, and the stress that it adds to our visitors of traffic and congestion. Absolutely. Right. So we have to kind of weigh those things. All right. So let's talk about tourism. And we're going to build our own little tourism model here. Okay. So travelers, what types of travelers do we have? Why do people travel? Okay. So for work. Okay. Okay. What else? Okay. Visiting family, maybe.
like in things like in religion, like is there is such
Yeah. That's a different type of travel. Yeah. What's that? What is it called when you do a religious journey? Pilgrimage, yes. Okay. Um, Conventions, yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna put work/conventions. Say that one more time. Okay. Yeah. Go back to where you came from. To visit where you came from. Sorry, that kind of came out really weird. Culture. Sorry, culture. Yes, absolutely. Oh, concerts. I like that. Okay, I'm also going to put adventure people that travel to Nepal to go climb Mount Everest. Okay, awesome. So those are different types of travelers. What other aspect of tourism did we talk about in the chapter? Okay, so how would we put that as a okay, we'll add lodging as a total category. What types of lodging do people stay in when they travel? Airbnb. Good. What else? Hotels. Motels. Good. Holiday Inn. Yep. Camping. Okay, I'm going to say RVs. What else? Cabins. Resorts. What's that? With family. Good. Oftentimes people think that hotels are really busy during the holiday season because of like Christmas, but oftentimes people actually stay with family versus staying at hotels when they come to visit. So hotels aren't always that busy during holidays. All right, what else? Transportation. What type of different types of transportation? How do people get to where they're going? Flying, driving, trains, cruises. Okay. Anything else? Cars, auto. I typed in autos. Yep. What else? Anything else? I feel like that kind of covers it.
Now you have where they retire and then they go past where they live year round on the miners.
Yeah.
And they go around the but difference is they live year round.
Yeah, so that also maybe kind of look at the different types of travelers as far as the age. So like the retirement can be a retired population. People that are retired typically are going to have more disposable income potentially, right? And so they sell their house and they live on a cruise ship. I think that would be really interesting. All right, anything else? Any other we have travelers, the lodging, transportation. What else? Different aspects of tourism. Recreation. I'm gonna do recreation slash attractions. What are some types of attractions that we have when we travel? Theme parks, okay. What else? The Riverwalk would fall under just like a local attraction. So things that you can only do when you're like in that you have to travel. Like if I want to go to the Eiffel Tower, I've got to go to Paris. Okay. Beaches, good. Shopping, golf, sightseeing. Okay. What kind of things are you going to see when you go sightseeing? Okay. So hiking. When you travel, hold on, don't tell me your name because I'm going to remember. Michaela, what do you, when you travel, what's something you want to go see?
Me personally, it really depends on what I'm going. Like, I want to go to Jamaica. Well, I went to Belize. I
Okay.
wanted to, that was corny. I wanted to ride a golf cart around the island. Just get in the
Okay.
golf cart. Their island is really beautiful. Beaches, they have bars everywhere. It's really just
Okay. Awesome. We got beaches covered. Yes, Sebastian. Museums, absolutely. Zoos. Sorry, zip lining. Okay, so adventure activities. Okay, yeah. And all the things about that specific culture, right? I remember when I went to Mexico City when I was 17, none of my friends wanted to eat street tacos. They thought they were going to get sick. And I was like, well, how can you? I'm like, well, at least if I get sick, I'm going to eat an amazing taco before I get sick. I never got sick, but they missed out on the tacos because those street tacos were so good. I have to tell you, before I traveled to Mexico City when I was 17, I only ever ate flour tortillas. I had some fresh corn tortillas for the first time, changed my life. Oh my gosh, so good. All right, so dining. What kind of dining? Obviously, we've got restaurants, street food. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put Michelin stars as like destination. Do you know why Michelin? You know what the Michelin stars came about? Who knows? Who does not know why they call it Michelin stars? Who does not know? How many of you have heard of Michelin? When you hear the word Michelin, what do you think about? Tires. Yeah, it's the same company. Michelin stars, the people who get the Michelin stars is the same company. Christian, tell us why they're called Michelin stars.
Company back in the early 1920s to promote travel, started rating things like restaurants, hotels, etc. And it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, the idea is that it's worth driving to. It's the more Michelin stars you have, the more of an exceptional experience that it's worth the drive to go to, because they're Michelin tires, right? A way to get people to travel by automobile, to go out and visit those. So yeah, absolutely. All right. Anything else that we did not cover? Yeah, that's a good point. Hotels, depending on what brand of hotel you stay in, you might have complimentary breakfast in the morning. Okay. That may be a selling point, especially if you're on a budget. Okay. What's that? Okay. So travel agencies, so how people book. Okay. Let's do that. Oh no, we're out of spots. Dang it. How can we do that? Let's put it under travelers. I wonder. Oops. Oh, I just messed it all up. I did. Dang it. It was there for a brief moment. I will try to get it back, and I'm not gonna waste our time, but I'll try to get it back, and then I'll post a picture of it on Canvas for us. Okay. So let's talk about different modes of transportation. Airline. So, how many of y'all are aware that San Antonio Airport is being expanded? How many of you are not aware that our San Antonio Airport is being expanded? Why is our San Antonio Airport being expanded? We want to bring more people in. Absolutely. Okay. So we definitely want to increase the number of visitors. Mate is not happy with the increased number of visitors. Okay. More traffic, right? We are basically doubling our our terminal space. So the new terminal that's being built is actually bigger than the two terminals that's combined right now. Those two combined. One of the really interesting parts about it is that they're actually going to have ground loading. Okay. So have you ever been to like a really small airport where you actually leave the terminal and you actually walk up the steps to the plane? Okay, that's ground loading. We're actually going to have a ground loading station area. I think that at least 3 to 4 planes that can actually do ground loading. A lot of budget airlines like the ground loading versus the bridge that goes out to the plane. Okay, one of the major reasons why they like ground loading is because they can put 2 sets of stairs. You can load that plane a lot faster going from the back and the front, and then they can get that plane up and out, right? And so the faster the turnaround time, the more money they're going to be making. The less time they spend on the ground, the faster they get up in the air. Okay, so ground loading is that little area is going to open first. I think they're expanding it by 19 gates total, and I believe they are also going to have the ability to land I think it's like an A380 aircraft, which is the double decker plane, where there's seats on 2 levels. Okay, so a lot of international flights, the more people they can put on that flight, the more cost effective it is for them to get people across the ocean. Okay, the international, transatlantic, or trans-Pacific. Um, But so San Antonio is an international airport. Okay. We are not necessarily a hub airport. Okay. But there are airports that are hubs, like Dallas, for example. Dallas Love Field, which is one of the airports in Dallas, is which hub for which airline? Southwest Airlines. Okay. Um, you also have Denver, which is a hub. Atlanta is a hub. Delta hubs. Okay. And so, which is the reason why, get this, in a couple of weeks, when I'm flying home from the Philippines, I fly from the Philippines to Los Angeles. And then before I can come home to San Antonio, I have to fly from Los Angeles to Atlanta and then back to San Antonio. I'm like, can you just like open the door, let me parachute out? Like, because that would be awesome. It adds so much more time doing that. But those hubs, because essentially, remember when we think about the product of our hospitality is perishable, we want to get everybody. I can't fly a plane from San Antonio to well, maybe I could. Let's say, okay, so I'm going to a conference in November in Amarillo, Texas. Okay. So I am flying from San Antonio to Amarillo. Okay. But there's people that live in smaller towns. Their airport can't just pick up a plane and fly to Amarillo. They have to go to San Antonio or Dallas or Houston. And so they're going to get all those people to come together. So, like you see up here on the screen, Wichita Falls, Lubbock, College Station, Waco, Tyler, all these smaller towns, they bring people on over into Dallas, right? And then from Dallas, they can go to other directions. So I may be on a flight from Tyler to Dallas with all these other people, but some of us are going to go to Nashville, some of us are going to go to Denver, some of us are going to go to Miami, right? And so we're all going in different directions, but we all get to a hub. Rail travel is also something that is not quite done in the US. I would say if you've lived in the New England area, there's a lot more train travel up in the New England area than there is. There's always been talk about a high speed rail from San Antonio to Austin or San Antonio to Houston or Dallas, right? One of the biggest issues with that's been explained to me is that when it's high speed rail, you've got to go in pretty much a straight line. You can't really curve a whole lot, right? Or if you do curve, it has to be a really big curve. Okay. And so because of that, it actually would take more track to get to Austin. We can't just go straight from San Antonio to straight up, right? Because a lot of our highways are curved as well. So we can't really follow that curve, right? You can take the train from San Antonio to Austin. You can take the Amtrak. You can actually take the train from San Antonio to Chicago, take the Amtrak train. I can't remember where my dad, I think, brought the Amtrak back down from Dallas. But I wanted to show you all this video, the top 10 fastest trains in the world.
In San Antonio, we embrace the culture and spirit that makes us unique. When we rodeo,
Decades ago, European and Asian countries competed to build the fastest railway network. It was first introduced in Japan, with the first Shinkansen train. A new era in transportation began in 1964, and then the new revolutionary means of transport appeared in Europe. The current fastest train we have ever built is the Shinkansen L0 series, which was able to reach an absolute speed of 603 kilometers per hour, but it will be years before we can see it in active operation. In 2024, several new train models and prototypes were introduced, and it looks like high-speed rail services will be transformed in the next few years. In today's video, we're going to look at the 10 fastest operational high-speed trains in the world, in the year of 2025. Number 10. Frencirasa 1000. The Frencirasa 1000 is a high-speed train operated by Trenitalia in Irio, Spain, and developed jointly by Alstom and Hitachi. It began its design in 2008 and entered service in Italy in 2015. It was designed with particular attention to energy efficiency, and thanks to new technological developments and energy-saving systems, the train reduces emissions and contributes to the sustainability of Italian rail transport. It currently operates on domestic routes in Italy and Spain, and has the option of operating international routes, such as between Milan and Paris. The trains are comfortable and well designed on the inside, with restaurants and comfortable seats. The train was designed to operate at a maximum speed of 360 kilometers per hour, but is only operated at 300 kilometers per hour on Spanish and Italian.
in San Antonio, we embrace the culture and spirit that makes us unique. When we rodeo, in San Antonio, we embrace the culture and spirit that makes us unique. When we rodeo,
Number 1. Fuxinghao CR450. Unveiled in late 2024 and expected to enter service in 2025, China shocked the world in late December last year with the announcement of the CRH450, the world's fastest train model. The CR450 is 10% lighter, has 22% less drag, consumes 20% less energy and has 20% better braking performance compared to the CRH400AF, after several tests in 2024, during which it reached a speed of 453 kilometers per hour. It is planned to run at 400 kilometers per hour, but was originally designed for a speed of 450 kilometers per hour. It will be put into operation in 2027 on the 292 kilometers long second Chengdu-Chongqing high-speed railway, which is expected to be completed by then, where it can reach its planned maximum operating speed of 400 kilometers per hour and shorten the travel time between the two cities to less than 50 minutes.
What's that? Yeah. So you've experienced high speed rail. Anybody else experienced high speed rail? Okay. Tell us about your experience.
I took TGV test in France.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So Japan and France. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I mean the I think one of the main reasons why, and I think the textbook covers this, One of the main reasons why rail doesn't really take off, hasn't really taken off in the US, is because we are somewhat dependent on our vehicles. Like we are, the culture that we have is that you have a vehicle, right? And so not a lot of people. Now, if you're up in the New England area, like you can take the train from Philadelphia to New York City or Boston. You can take the train to different cities up in that area, but over here, not so much. The other kind of travel, oops, automobile travel. So these are some pictures I pulled from my trips that I've taken. North Carolina, the top left. I think that's the Badlands in the top middle, Cape Cod, which is Massachusetts. The middle picture is the top of New Hampshire, Mount Washington at 6,282 feet. And then I don't know where that other one is. But what's some of the benefits of automobile travel? You go at your own pace. Yeah, what else? You get to see some scenery. Good. What else? You can go places that trains and planes don't go. What's a downfall to automobile travel? It takes time, right? My brother, he recently bought a Tesla and he went to the Grand Canyon and it drove most of the way for him. I thought that was very odd. I still have not been experienced that self-driving quite yet. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. But yeah, anybody else like road trips? How many of y'all prefer to travel by car? Okay, yeah. If I have the time, I like to travel by car. Bus, another way that people travel. Okay, it can be economical. When I graduated in 2014, I took a megabus adventure, 3 weeks. I went all the way. I went from San Antonio to New Orleans to Memphis to Chicago to New York City to Boston to Washington, D.C., to Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia, Durham, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Miami. And then I was supposed to get back on the bus and do Miami, Orlando, Atlanta, Dallas, and home, but I just could not get back on the bus after all that time. But all of that cost me $250. Took me 3 weeks, but $250. So sometimes it can be really economical. I think I paid sometimes as much as $5 or as little as $5 for a seat on the bus. So that was really interesting. Anybody ever driven the megabus? You can send packages to megabus now? Interesting. Okay. I did not know that. One of the different things about megabus and other kind of traditional buses like Greyhound is that there's not really a bus station. They're just like, okay, on the corner of 4th and McCullough, you're going to park the bus here and you're just going to load on the bus, right? Now, again, back up into the New England area. This is something I didn't experience until I had gone on this trip. They have like Peter Pan bus line, which is a green bus. They have Megabus, which is the blue. They also have like a red one. I can't remember what it's called. But they have different bus lines and people travel by bus all the time. There was one time I had to get to Dallas, but I also had a wedding back here in San Antonio. And so I took the megabus from San Antonio to Dallas. I got off the bus, went in and checked in for my marathon, got back on the bus, came home, did my wedding on Saturday, and then drove to Dallas on Saturday night and ran the marathon on Sunday. But that trip to Dallas and back was $11, and I didn't have to drive. So sometimes it's really economical. This is one that I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with, but how many of y'all realize before you read the chapter that there's actual organizations that their whole job is to promote tourism to that specific area? Okay, so Visit San Antonio is our predominant destination management organization, our DMO. Visit San Antonio, their job, they get $36 million a year from the San Antonio, city of San Antonio. That's generated from the hotel occupancy tax. And they use that money to then promote people coming to San Antonio. Okay. If you have ever seen a commercial for a destination, how many have ever seen a commercial for a specific destination, a specific city on TV? Anybody? Tiffany, what's one that you can think of? Okay. Yeah. And when do you typically see those advertisements for Galveston? In the summertime, spring break. Okay. When do you think people in Boston see advertisements for Galveston? In the wintertime, when there's 5 feet of snow outside and they see this beautiful beach and it's 70, 80 degrees in December, right? They're advertising for people to come and say, hey, escape the winter and come down to the Texas coast. Okay. So those cities, oftentimes you'll see like Visit Galveston, Visit San Antonio. It used to be the San Antonio Visitors Convention and Visitors Bureau, SACVB. So for a while, it was like Convention and Visitors Bureaus. And now most of them have kind of changed their names to Visit Insert City, like Visit Denver, Visit Miami, right? It's just more, when you're thinking about going online to figure out who am I going to go, I'm not going to go to the San Antonio Convention and Visitors Bureau to get information about visiting San Antonio. I'm going to go to Visit San Antonio. Okay. So those tourism promoters are really important. All right. So we're going to do a group project. I'm going to pair you up. Christian is thrilled that we're doing a group project. Okay. Oh, this is brand new. I got to open these. Okay. So we're going to do a group project. And actually it's only going to be a three-day trip. Okay. So you're going to plan a 3-day itinerary. And it could be any destination that you want. You have to determine how you're going to get there from San Antonio. Okay, so San Antonio is your starting point. You're going to visit for 3 days, and you're also going to plan things like different attractions, different things that you're going to do. Okay, I will post on Canvas. I created an Excel spreadsheet to help you manage your budget of your trip. And you're going to essentially, with your partner, it's just gonna be 2 people, okay? It's a group of 2, so calm down, Christian. You can work with one other person. And so we're going to basically plan this 3-day trip, okay? You don't have a budget. There is no budget. You can kind of just identify how many people you want to go on the trip. Is it 4 people? Is it 2 people? Is it 6 people? Whatever, okay? So let me open up what I'm going to share with you. Okay. And where did I put that? You know what? I wonder if I didn't save it. It might still be on my computer upstairs. Okay. Let me put y'all into groups and you can start talking and then I'll all right, if I could borrow your attention just for a moment. I'm going to upload this Excel spreadsheet onto Canvas. So this is what you're going to complete and then you're going to turn in, okay? So you're going to, in the yellow section, you're going to type in the destination. And then you also are going to put how many people are traveling, okay? Then just basically come through here. I have put ones here, but that's just because if I don't, my formulas look kind of weird, okay? Because there's numbers. I have formulas in these and I have formulas down here. So you cannot click there. You cannot change my formulas, okay? So I've basically made it super easy for you. So if your transportation, let's say, is $5,000, your lodging is another $2,500. As you type in the costs, okay, It's going to automatically calculate down here. I don't know why that didn't change. It should have. Before I upload it, I will make sure that this changes as well. So basically, you'll just turn this in as you look down the breakdown of the costs for each different categories. Okay, and then you want to type in all of the descriptions, okay, of what it is. If you're going to go to a specific museum or whatever you're going to do, okay, you can type in as much as you want into those fields. Okay. The purpose and the idea that I want with this behind this assignment is I'm pretty sure we all know it's expensive to travel. Okay. However, sometimes we don't realize how expensive it is to travel. And so by doing this, it allows you to understand that when somebody's coming to San Antonio, they may have saved for months, they may have saved for a year to have this vacation. And so when they come to San Antonio, think about what we talked about in chapter 1, the Disney interactions, the steps of service, and those moments of truth. We want to make sure that our guests are having a great experience because they probably have saved quite a long time to be able to come here. Okay. So any questions, comments, concerns? Yes, Sebastian. It's going to be due on Monday of next week. Yep. So you'll have a week to work on this. So basically you and your partner are going to turn in the exact same assignment. Okay. It's not on Canvas yet. Nope. I'll upload it on Canvas. Yes.
There's no budget, right?
There is no budget. Nope. So if you're going for a specific concert, you're going to buy your concert tickets, or if you're going for a specific museum, right? Think about why you're going to that destination and then do some research about what there is to do in that destination. All right? Yes.
So we're assuming that us and our partner are the ones going on a trip together.
You're not going together, but you're just planning a trip.
So yeah, imagine it's my family.
You could say 6. Like you could say a family of 4, family of 5. You could say it's classmates. Or you're going to go on a tasting tour, a culinary tasting tour of Italy, whatever you're going to do. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So in that last column, you're going to talk about, sorry. Yep, exactly. So in that description, right? Is it airfare? Is it car? Right? Let's say you want to do a road trip. Okay. If you want to do a road trip, and let's say it's 3,000 miles. Why is it not showing up? Oh, because it's on white. Let's say you're traveling 3,000 miles because that's what you've done in your research. You've done like your Google map to all these different cities, right? Different destinations. 3,000 miles total. Let's say your car gets 20 miles to the gallon. How many gallons of gas are you going to need? 150 gallons times 255 per gallon. That's what it is. And that would be your estimated transportation cost for gas. Okay. So if you have a family of 4 and you have those 3 days available to travel and go to different places, figure out, that might be a little bit more economical than flying from one place to the next to buy 4 different airline tickets. All right. So you can think about it that way. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. So you're going to have the rest of the time today to work on this with your partner.